So how do people do that? What do you recommend to folks who say, okay, I get it, I got this message. You talked about podcasting. Is there a recipe of folks or ideas that people can just uh, use?
I don't think there's a recipe. I mean, I talked about keeping your end user in mind. Who is your audience? What is the purpose of your podcast? What are you doing? Because I know some people that are just like, I just do this because I wanted to connect with people. I wanted to connect with other attorneys. I wanted to connect with people with stories. I wanted to connect with people with the same struggles I have. There. So until you decide where you're going, you won't get anywhere. And I think a lot of people, they just like aimlessly like, listen, if you just want to hang out in the garage with a couple of buddies and have a couple beers and just make fun of each other and record it and put it out there and have people laugh with you, that's a podcast. There's plenty of podcasts like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or if you say, listen, I want to help people find better. I want to help them go from, and I'll just real quick talk about my life. From 8 to 13 years old, my mom dated heroin dealers, crack dealers, gang leaders. I, I wasn't in the car, but was shot at with 3 drive-bys, police raids all the time, all kinds of crazy stuff. And I remember at that age saying to myself, I will not be poor when I grow up. I graduated high school with the 2.43 GPA. I always tell people magna cum barely, right? But it was because I was already making money more than my parents most weeks. And I just wanted to get out there and make money.
Yeah.
I fell into advertising. I loved it. I fell into, more entrepreneurship. When we talk about shoveling snow, I didn't shovel snow. I had about 5 or 6 young men in my neighborhood that were 2 or 3 years younger than me, and I got the snow shoveling jobs, the paper route, the lawn mowing jobs, the leaf raking jobs. They were too nervous to knock on doors, and I didn't want to do the work. So I would get the job. I would give them half. I would keep half. They would do the job, and that's how I made my money. So, like, you go from that to where I'm at now, basically saying, I want more, I want more, I want more. And I'm not going to, but I talked about, I have been fortunate to have had some pretty cool experiences in my life, living in Europe, living on an island in the Caribbean, now living in Mexico, doing a lot of traveling, running a few multi-million-dollar companies that just kind of came from scratch from an idea that I'm like, like the big difference with what we do